near you.
Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome, Kathy A. We got Mary in the house, Lorna, Lori. We got Kevin. Hello there. Well, Anna D, Midwest Night Watchers. Welcome, everybody. Scott M. Is everybody starting to slide in? We got Rebecca. Nice to see you there, Rebecca. And Peter is running a little late. He's got some car trouble. He's getting taken care of. Julian, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm here with all the insanity that's going on. We're here.
Yes, absolutely there, kind sir. So round of applause to everybody. Nice to see everybody today. So yes, I'm getting on the road tomorrow, going to Texas, going to do some filming and some pictures. And hello there, Michelle. Nice to have you. So yeah, 14-hour drive. Wonderful. So what's going on with you?
Myself, I lost Microsoft Word for a number of hours. It's been a very wild day in regards to texts and calls and people wondering what's going on, what's not happening, and Peter will fill us in. And tomorrow's the full moon in Pisces, which means that we're to really examine ourselves, our strategy moving forward, and what is it that you do. In numerology, it's the 17th. Interesting that 17, 1 and 7 is 8, because numerology brings things to the number. And the 17-8 is the word God, G-O-D, comes out to a 17-8. So tomorrow, with everything else that's happening, is a day of God consciousness on a full moon. So get ready to to put on your seatbelt and soar.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I just drew a card, and the card I drew was the moon card. Isn't that interesting, right? So speaking of it, and usually we talk about the moon card, we talk about the subconscious.
Yes.
And just like you said, anxiety.
Yes.
And the illusions of things that's going on. It just fits right in with the moon card. So interesting.
Well, it fits in because everything is a reflection of what is happening in ourselves and our inner world, as well as around us, with family, with friends, with people that we work with. So this is a time especially to consider the people around you, and also support them in every which way, because people are spinning and will be spinning like a top.
Absolutely. And with everything going on in the world, I could not agree with you more. So absolutely. And it makes me wonder, because people that don't believe in this stuff, if you ever watch people, how they change throughout the seasons and throughout the months when things happen, they're like, no, I'm fine. It doesn't affect me, but it does.
Yeah. And as a hypnotherapist as well for over 35 years, past life hypnotherapist as well, when I meet people and they say to me, yeah, everything's okay, and you kind of like, you check out their energy, their auric field, you listen to their words, you watch their body language, and you realize, no. Tell me what's really happening. Tell me what's really happening. Because it's very easy to get seduced by the geopolitical scene, by your phobias, by the people around you and their stuff. And the first thing is, come from a place of alignment and balance as much as possible.
Well, I'll tell you the biggest lie I ever told is that I'm okay. And that's the biggest lie a lot of people say every day. It's the truth.
It takes a lot to be okay, because at the same time, with all that's happening, it's important to understand how to discern and to take what serves you. You know, what's important for you. um, what TV shows fulfill you, or are they just entertaining, or are they just brainwashing, all of the above? And if so, then okay, what is it that you're doing with this TV show, with this podcast, with this book that you're reading, with how are you spending your time?
Never in the right place and enough time.
But at the same time, there is time, because I always tell people, if God is time and you are of God, then you are of time and you make the time. So if you wish to make the time, you can make the time.
It's never enough time. So,
Ed,
we're supposed to exercise a minimum 20 minutes a day. Do we do that? No, we don't.
exercise could also be walking.
Well, yeah, it is, but does the average person exercise? No.
That's true.
There's a lot of things we're supposed to do as a human being. We do not. We fall short every day, like we do in the grace of God.
That's true. We fall short, but like I said, if you haven't exercised, you come home, walk around the block, walk your dog, walk with your kid. Walk.
Yes.
Just walk. Do something.
Yes.
And then the next day, do something else.
Yes, I got one of those little exercise things underneath my studio desk that pedals like a bike. So if you ever see me do this number, I'm pedaling to happiness somewhere. Anyways.
It's always good to pedal to happiness.
That's right. That's why I always smile, I used to get in trouble all the time when I was growing up. My lieutenant, if you're watching LT, I just got off the phone, and if you're watching, he used to get so mad. He's like, damn it, Grizzly, why are you always smiling? You're always up to something. No, you got to be happy, brother. I mean, because just like Kevin says, we have to see the beauty, even in the darkest of things.
That's true.
You have to.
There's beauty. There's beauty in everything. And the first beauty is your breath, inhale and exhale. It's beautiful that you're breathing and you're alive. A lot of people are going through also, not a lot, but some people are going through all kinds of experiences with loved ones, with family members who are getting sick or ill. And, we pray for them. We hold space for them. And it's important that you do everything you can to also communicate with them. And if they're not verbal, as I did with my father years ago, is that I communicated with my mind to my heart, to his mind, to his heart, and it's called telepathic communication. And for whatever reason, that was happening. It happened, and it makes you feel so beautiful and so strong and so loving, the fact that now you can communicate with a loved one in a different way, and it doesn't just have to be with words.
No, absolutely. I'm a firm believer in that.
Yes.
And if you never experienced that, ladies and gentlemen, once you have, it's an extraordinary experience.
It is extraordinary, and you can try it if it comes about. Don't give up, because a lot of people go, I can't talk to this person because they're sick, or they're in hospice and they're out of it or whatever. They hear you.
Yes, they do.
You. They know what's happening.
The people that are in a coma can hear you. The people that have dementia remember you, even though they do. Do you think they do not? Because when they cross over, we hear that when they talk to you.
That's right.
Through spirit. We hear the communication when they I forgot what I was saying, but we hear it all the time. So
Yeah, and I'm saying that because here I'm seeing the notes on the left hand side, and people are saying yes and welcome, and this person had their father in hospice care, and this person's having this problems, and we're feeling you. We're you know we're praying with you. We're loving you. We're caring, because this is a time of community. As we're in September. That's what the 9 is all about in numerology. It's being one with higher zero, which is that of higher mind, one with God consciousness. And it's all about community. And as we go into these next months, we're going to be challenged to be even more of this community. And what sort of community are you holding? Are you embracing? Is it a community of love, or is it a community of let's scream and yell, and let's be angry, and let's go and fight, and let's go and destroy, and all of that? Because we're all coming into what? We're all coming into 2025. And what is 2025? A 9. 2 and 0 is 2. The 2 is a 4. 4 and 5 is 9. So we're going into a universal energy, a year of globality, of community. But it all depends on where you stand with yourself, with your community, with your family, as well as that with the world.
yeah, I totally concur with that. And a lot of people are starting to get into numerology and understanding what that means.
Yes. Yes. It's what I love about it, and I've been doing it now for 45 years. It's easy. Um, for me, it's easier than any other divination like astrology or even tarot or any of these uh, beautiful applications. But for me, the numbers are easy because you understand the general numbers of 1 through 9, and they're stepping stones. They start talking to you. They start showing you uh, images within yourself, or you start hearing things or feeling things, because there's a language of the universe there in these numbers.
So with 2025 on the horizon and everything, what do you think is going to happen next year with
Well,
2025 with the neurology?
Well, numerology, as we go into 2025, we still have to go through September, October, November, December. And these are very powerful months because we're in 2024, which is an 8. And in this 8 period, that's why all is happening now. 8 is the banking system, is that of real estate, is that of politics, is that of your own power, your own empowerment. So all these changes are taking place in order for you to understand you are the president. You are the bank. You are everything that is outside of you. You are a part of this. This is just a metaphor showing you you. And what's important is that you deal with this the best you can to be aligned, to be in that space and place. And I love the word equipoise. Equipoise is the harmony of mind, body, and spirit, in order for you to know how to react, how to function, how to also live your life with all that's happening, but knowing that you have a purpose, and in your birth date is your purpose, is your life path purpose, is what you're here to do. It's part of your soul's requirement of your purpose, of your destiny, of what motivates you, of your relationships, of your health, and everything is there.
Yeah, Lori, I have to agree with Julian, and there's divine simplicity in numerology. Though there are layers and numerical information to consider, every letter has a number. Added up, it is a meaning. Yes.
That's right. As Lori has just said that, and the L is the 12th letter of the alphabet, and 1 and 2 is 3. And then let's look at the L. The L is a 1 with a horizontal line, so it's like a right angle. Let's look at the right angle. It's open. It communicates, it talks, it speaks, it expresses itself, it sings, it has artistic qualities to it. Also, what is Lori all about? L also is asking you to listen to what is not being said. It's the 12th letter, 1, 2, 3. So it's the trinity of artistry, of this beauty of you being asked. And your first letter is so important because it's your foundation letter. So Lori's being asked to express herself, her truth, her love, what she feels in the deepest part of her beingness, of her heart, of her mind, of her body, of her spirit. So she's being asked to express, to also make people feel good about themselves, in empowering them with her voice.
Right. Absolutely. Because, see, a lot of people don't understand voice has vibration and also is alive and also can change a person. Is that correct?
Oh, totally. Because the way you speak, you can whisper like this, or you can talk, but all of a sudden, as you're speaking, you stop. You say something, and you stop. So the way you're speaking, the tone, your inflections, how makes a very huge difference in how you're being heard.
Right. Now, Nelda. Oh, I just hit a button. Stand by. Let's see here. Nelda says, let me
Yes.
hit it again. There we
And
go.
N being the 14th letter of the alphabet of 5. The N is a beautiful energy in Nelda. Why? Because the N is known in numerology as the secretary of the ancients. Think about that. The secretary of the ancients. Here's a woman who, in previous lives, she's been a Catholic, a Jew, a Muslim, a Hindu, all these different religions, working as a alchemist in some way with the elitists, with the people that are powerful, having all these different religious, having all these philosophies, and in this life, here she is endowed with all of these experiences, and she's her own philosophy. She's her own person, expressing, communicating, being of service, helping others with these experiences in this oneness as Nilda, as the alchemist.
That's interesting. It really is. That's fascinating.
Married to the ancients, Nilda, N. The first letter of your name is your foundation letter, and every letter of your name on your birth certificate, and each letter corresponds to a number. So all of those energies embrace your first letter. So it's good to know what your letter represents so you understand a little bit more of what you're doing here, especially now, September 2024, as we're moving forward.
Oh, that's wild. It really is.
Yeah, and when you understand that, it makes it so much easier because you have sort of like a you have, and you know a secret. It's like you're being whispered a secret understanding, a little bit more of, wow, that's why this has been happening, or that's what happened there, or why I'm feeling what I'm feeling. Because especially now in 2024, in this year, we're being asked to step up. We're being asked to either step up or go and take a vacation, or or go and get sick, or even, go to the next level and wait for your next incarnation. So it's very important, especially at this time right now, for us to understand what our soul's purpose is, what is our destiny, what's going on with ourselves in regards to our everyday life, our lifestyle, how we are functioning, how we're sharing, what we're doing. Are we happy? Are you happy with yourself? And if not, you can change that.
Question is, Julian, what happens
Yes.
if you go by your middle name?
Well, it's interesting. Good question. Because in numerology, it's your first name. Your first name is your physical material, and that's this world. Your middle name is your emotional and your mental world. And your third name, which is given to you, is your intuitive spiritual world. So, and if you don't have a middle name, your last name is then embracing your mental, emotional, as well as your intuitive world. So there are dimensions within your name. And within your name also are these letters. Letters correspond to these numbers. These numbers have a meaning. And are you ready for this, Chris?
Yes.
Each letter corresponds to a number, correct?
Yes.
So Chris is a C, yes?
Yes.
After Chris comes the H.
Right.
R-I-S, correct?
Yes, sir.
Is it Chris or Christopher on the
Christopher?
It's Christopher.
Yes, sir.
So let's do this, Christopher. As I'm getting my piece of paper for all to understand. Christopher.
Yes, sir.
Very quickly. We have the C is a 3. So we have a 3, 8, 9, 9, 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 5, 9. That's a 11, 20, 29, 30, 32, 38, 38, 45, 53, 58, and that is a 67. You're not 67 years old.
No,
okay,
sir.
All right. Let's choose someone else who has a not so many letters.
All right. Who wants to be the guinea pig? Throw me a sign.
Come on.
All right. Who wants to be?
Who wants to be?
Kevin.
Kevin. Kevin. 25495. Much better. 7, 11, 20, 25. Are you ready?
Yes.
Each letter corresponds to a number. That number has a meaning, very special, that's connected with your soul's empire. Okay? Each letter is also a year.
Right.
In other words, Kevin at 25 years old went through a big change in his life. Is that true, Kevin, or not?
All right, Kevin, give us some feedback. At 25,
25 years old, you went through a huge change in your life, a breakthrough that brought you into another space and place. It could have been a move. It could have been something that happened that shook you up. Come on, Kevin.
And of course, I hit a button and disappeared everything. Stand by, ladies and gentlemen. So let's see
Kevin's
here.
not there. Let's do someone else.
Yes, he did. Spiritual, he says.
No, even more so, Kevin. Go deeper.
Divination for my first time. He says deeper.
Go deeper. And if you're 50 years old, Kevin, at 50 years old, you're going to be going through a similar or a huge change in your life physically.
What is it, Kevin?
What's going on? More so than just divination, my friend.
Uh-oh. Let's see. All right. Lori says, I'll be your guinea pig, Julian. I'll be your guinea pig, Julian.
Okay, Lori, is that your name at birth, Lori? Laurie?
Yes.
So that's a 3, that's a 1, that's a 3, that's a 9, that's a 9, that's a 5, 4, 7, 16, 25, 30. 30, 31, you went through a lot, my friend. At 30 years old. Because that's where Lori ends and then Lori begins. So that's how numerology works. Each letter corresponds to a number. That number is a year. It's a year of time that you have with that energy. Isn't that wild?
Yeah, that is actually wild.
So then you can go deeper and understand, wow, I'm in this energy now. What does energy mean for me at this time in my life that I am at this age, in this year, in this month, on this day?
Wow.
Lori, at 30, what happened?
All right, let me get back to the screen here. Stand by. And Lori, at 30 years of age, what happened? Oh, indeed, she says. And what happened, Lori? Give her a second to type. True, I became my own adult, independent of others and family.
But you broke through. Something happened. You either moved, you had that experience, that epiphany, you moved, or something happened where you had to break through and go to the next level. And then you went back to L. So it's like ending, new beginning, but it's a rebooting that you went through at 30. Yes or no?
Let's see here. And she says, da-da, still nothing. Try to fire away as much as possible. Lori, yes or no? I did. I divorced those who were not a benefit.
Say that again?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So, in other words, we have a map that is telling us, informing us of what our plan is within our time, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually here on this earth through our name and our birth date.
That's pretty wild.
And people like myself who have studied this and journeyed and embraced this for now 45 years plus understand this map and are here to be of service to people in any which way to help them understand what this is. And that is, in a way, it's you're already supposed to go through this experience and work with this in some way in order for you to break through and take yourself to another level of yourself.
So I pulled her card for Laura, and she went through an emotional security, calm, and intuitive, and a compassionate time.
Yeah.
And it was the Queen of Cups, and I actually saw that. So yeah, Queen of Cups. It was
Powerful.
interesting. So yeah,
That with all that happened with Lori, she then became empowered by the experience and realized more of what her truth was, what her purpose was, and what she was supposed to do. And what does she say here? I decided I was best decision maker for
yeah,
myself, who I was responsible for. I didn't require, want, or need others to interfere. Yes, because you realize your freedom.
yeah,
You broke
absolutely.
you broke through to independence, to freedom, realizing that you make a difference, that respecting others, and it's important that we respect others and their thoughts and their ideas and their philosophies and all that, as long as it doesn't hurt or harm us, and physically, especially if it's affecting you mentally, you can control that, my friend.
Right.
Don't
Yeah,
allow anything to control you mentally, or
That's
any
a
or
that's a
anybody.
hard pill to swallow for a lot of people. It takes time, you know.
Oh yeah, it's very easy to be seduced mentally. It's called commercials.
Yes, thank our sponsors for the commercials and our broadcast. I'm sorry that you're inflicted by that, ladies and gentlemen.
That's
But
right. We thank all the commercials
yeah, that's
and
helped pays for the broadcast. So
and the propaganda and all that and more. It's important
right,
to take all of that with a grain of salt. But it's back to Lori. So Lori found her independence, and in finding her independence, she found a path for her to live, where now she can think on her own, feel on her own, be on her own, and do things from this power. Thus, now attracting within her field other people who also embrace this kind of feeling and this kind of a strategy. Is that correct?
yes, yeah, that's what she says. The next one she would like you to try is ARAL. ARAL. Is that Ariel? Is that how you say that?
You sure it's ARAL? Yes, arrow.
Yeah.
So that's a 1, 9, 1, 3. So that's 10, 11. So the changes were at 14. The changes are at 28. And then there's another change that's around 42. 14, 28, 42.
Hmm. Interesting.
And again, this is all about this timeline. We're talking about timelines now within our names, where these timelines represent periods of experiencing different things for us to go through in order for us to grow, in order for us to live our plan of our evolution. There's a great book. It's called Many Lives, Many Masters by Dr. Brian Weiss. And what I love about this book is that he's he was a top uh, psychologist, and he also was the top psychologist of this certain college. I believe it was Columbia or one of these colleges, and he did a session on this woman who was a manic depressive, and he decided to regress her. Now, he's very pedantic, he's very scientific, he's a psychologist, so regression to him just meant going back. She's a manic depressive. Her name's Catherine. She went back, but she went back into another life. He doesn't believe that, but he allowed that. In the next session, she came back a week later. He decided to do it again. This time, that life seemed to tap in and embrace some things that were happening in this life. He let it go. She came back. She's laughing. She's a whole different Catherine. He doesn't understand. He regresses her. She goes in between lives. The life that she just left in her other life, and the life just before she goes into in this life, where supposedly you're with the architects, you're with the planners that plan with you what you're supposed to do in this life. How fascinating is that?
Yeah, it is pretty fascinating. It really is.
What happens, make a long story short, and I ask people to read this book, is they wanted to speak to him through her, which they did. And they told him things that nobody knew on this planet or could even find out. He went into a spin. He didn't know where he was going, where he was coming, what was going on with him. He took a respite, a leave of absence. He was trying to figure out what's going on, because he's this head of psychology, and he has all of these attributes about himself, all these things. And he found my teacher, Gerald Kine, who's his mentor and his teacher that directed him, Dr. Brian Weiss. And fascinating book, fascinating study. And what if? And that's what I ask your people. What if? Everything that we're talking about, Chris, what if there is something to it?
It is. And I think there is something to it. Because, see, everything we do, there is a chain reaction, just like Newton's cradle. If you don't know what Newton's cradle is, ladies and gentlemen, it's that device. It's that device with 5 balls on it. You take one ball and you pull it out and you let go, and that ball hits that other balls and it transfers all that energy. A reaction causes a chain reaction. You can do that with everything in life. You can do that with conversations, with words being spoken, anything. And this is where we try to say, be nice to people.
That's
do
right.
something kindness in the world.
Yes.
It really does make a difference, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, Ariel, a lot of moving around. It absolutely. I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah, it's very important to come from that place, no matter what, because your body feels it, your organs feel it, your tissues feel it, your blood circulates it.
Yes.
As you think, so you are. So it's very important that you do everything you can, especially as we move in these next days and weeks and months, to a alignment with yourself, with Mother Earth, with Grandfather Sky, with God consciousness, and be in that alignment the best
Yes.
that you can.
Hello, all witchy. Welcome to the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, it has been proven beyond a reasonable doubt in the American Doctors Association, in the journals, that sadness and also frowning and harboring, anger, causes certain types of cancer. This is not falseness or fiction. It actually is true. And this is why people say you have to smile, you have to be happy. And this is why we try to tell people you have to let go of anger. Just because somebody's done you wrong, you have to let go. Family members, you have to forgive. People that has done you wrong in the past, co-workers, bosses, you have to forgive. Life's too short, ladies and gentlemen.
You have to find it in your heart to emotional release and to let go, realizing that that person that you might be angry at for an act that occurred years and years ago, one, they might not even remember
That is correct.
you, or also they could have passed. They could be dead right now. And you're holding on to those calendar years. You're holding on to that, which creates toxicity. And that toxicity will slowly eat at you, and it can destroy you.
Yeah, absolutely. It ain't worth it, ladies and gentlemen.
And that's why in this September, called the mirror of your soul, that's what September in numerology is. It's for you to look in your mirror and say, and today, tomorrow, you look in your mirror and say, I love you.
Yeah. You know what? I love my enemy. You know, I can sit down, Julian, at the dinner table with my enemy and eat dinner. And I tell people, you know, you'll never know who I do not like. You'll never know. There's nothing wrong with that.
And sometimes what's interesting, and that's where also the energy, the frequency comes up with previous lives as well, especially in 2024, because it's such a high energy of psychic energy of this ascension taking place.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Ourselves breaking through to another level of consciousness within ourselves. I'm not saying that people will be disappearing as you're looking at them. I don't
right.
or feel that. I just feel that we're being asked to ascend in our consciousness, in our awareness, in what is true. And as Chris said, be kind, be loving, let go, emotional release, let go of that toxicity. It doesn't serve you. Come from a place where you're aligned and you're in this equipoise with mind, body, and spirit. And then you can be active and reactive and deal with things, being flexible and free. That's the secret.
You know, Julian, I'll tell you this. There was a lot of things I could have done in the letter of the law when I was a sworn officer. And, you know, but I treat people with humility and respect and empathy, right? And that actually got me a long ways. And there's been times where I've been in restaurants and people would stare at me.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of being shot, I've got handshakes and hugs. And that went a long way. I'm just saying.
I ask also, and thank you for sharing that, some people that I know, clients of mine, in the last week, they're having problems with the courts, with the justice system. And I'm telling them, when you go into that court, you go in as a light bulb and you just blast that place with light and everybody there with that light consciousness. And you be as kind and sweet. And if you're a male, you're Jesus. If you're a woman, you're Mary, Mother of God. You're whomever. And you come out like that avatar, because that judge does not want to hear your screaming and your yelling and your nerves and your anger and stuff like that. When you do that, you will change the atmosphere, the energy, you will change the people around you, and you come from a place of love.
That is correct. That is correct. So, you know, a lot of people tell me all the time, this cop was rude, this cop was a prick. And I tell them, you know, you imagine you pull over 15, 20 cars a day in your shift or more, right? And you get screamed at, you know, and hollered at all the time. What are you going to do when the next time you pull the next car over? You're going to cut it off real quick, aren't you? You're going to circumvent that person you're not going to let them get the upper hand on you. But you kill them with kindness, you're gonna break it down. You're gonna break them down and step them down. So yeah, I totally agree with you.
You never know when a person does something to you, what that person has gone through themselves.
Absolutely.
And that's why it's important to do everything you can to come from a place of harmony. But also know this, you can also protect yourself beforehand. As I just said, before you go out into the world, see yourself like a light bulb and go out there as a light bulb.
Right.
And shine. And then when you come back, turn it off and say thank you. Or you can easily go to YouTube and check out my meditation. It's called Julian, Julian, Tesla, Tesla meditation of 11 minutes, which will create an electromagnetic energy field, a Tesla field within and around you of safety, of health, and of light and love. Check it out. Let me know what you think about it, because there are different things one can do to also protect themselves with all that's happening and challenging us, especially at this time in our lives.
No, absolutely. I'm a firm believer in that. And that's been fantastic. Thank you, Julian. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to check out Julian's information down at the bottom. He's got his LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everything. Check him out, YouTube, everything. And yeah, any last words, Julian?
I just saw it's time for us to take responsibility for our field. We have this ozone layer around us, which is called our auric field. Take responsibility for that. Feed it. Feed it love. Feed it happiness. Feel it this alignment, this equipoise of mind, body, and spirit. And go out there with your field, and my friends, light it up. Light it up.
Yes, absolutely. And then, ladies and gentlemen, make sure and don't forget, tonight we have another show tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure and tune in for that, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you for tuning in tonight. And from coast to coast around the world, we'll see you shortly. Godspeed.